We don't look at things like, you know, um, spreading lies, creating chaos through false narratives, slandering of people's name. We don't look at that as a generational curse, right? But then if we go deep into the history of it, depending on the bloodline on the family, you'll come to understand that the same thing was done to the person that's actually creating the scenario. Her mama did it, her mama's mama did it, her granddaddy did it, everybody in the bloodline did it, and there was somebody that was never put a stop to. It was just something, well, is sister such and so, or brother such and so, or such and so. That's just who this. Sometimes people are so scared to approach the person to let them know, hey, you know what, this that you're doing is wrong, or this that you're saying is not the truth, because they don't want to make the person uncomfortable, or they don't want to uh bring up more chaos or confront the person, right? So they just go along with the scenario, they go along with the narrative to seek approval and validation from this person that they probably can't even stand, right? And so I say this because I too have done it before, right? I too was a willing participant in it, and sometimes I was conscious of it, and sometimes I was doing it unconsciously because I was programmed to be this way. So people who behave this way are people who are programmed to behave this way. They see it, somebody before them did it to them, or they saw it, they just they thought it was normal, or they thought that it was okay, or even if they knew better, they just didn't care, right? So they continue to do that. And so we're not going to get into the how does this affect the other people on the other side. We're just going to talk about how they get to become the way that this way, which is just sad, for lack of words, right? Because let's think about it. You are smearing someone's name, you're not approaching the person about it, which means that you're weak. um you have to get other people to validate you, which means that you lack self-worth, self-confidence, which makes you weak. And three, you can't stand alone. You need a whole group to validate your existence, to validate what you're saying, because on your own, you can't do it. Which is what which is what people who behave this way are actually saying. They're saying, "Hey, I'm weak and I need help. Can you help me slander this person, please?" But the way that they carry themselves is like, I'm strong. This is blah 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 blah. And they don't, but if you look, if you actually take a step back and analyze it, and like, you'll come to understand that people who behave this way, who carry themselves like this, are weak-minded individuals inside and out. Because a normal human being would go ahead and approach the person and speak to them and maybe have a conversation and deal with whatever it is that's happening. But instead of that, these people choose to go low. It's like, how low can you go? And so when we choose to not engage, we rise above, right? So they're going low, 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 and we're rising, 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 rising. So the lower they go, the higher we rise. Why? Because we don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have time. And even if we did, we don't want to spend our time like that. We don't want to engage. We don't want to downgrade to that level because we don't want to. As for me, I'm just like, I don't want to. That's not what I want to spend my time on. That's not what I want to engage in. That's not who I want to become. And so you could go ahead and you could do whatever you want. You could live your life how you want it, but I'm not going to be a part of it. I will not be a willing participant of it. And so because I've been the person on the other side where um I've been victim of these slandering campaigns, false narratives, defamation of character, all of that good stuff. Instead of me, like, I'm gonna prove to you that I'm not who you say I am, blah, 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 blah. Me and good riddance. Like, go ahead. I don't care. I don't care. And if people believe it, okay. Good for you. I really don't care. I don't. But that's just how I am, right? And it took me years to get like that. Like to when I close the doors in my house, not only when I'm outside, but when I close the doors in my house, I don't give a I don't care. Like I don't care. I got into that point. So going back to why people become like this is just hurt people. Somebody did it to them, like the bullies. Somebody did it to them and then they want to bully somebody else and they continue to be like that and they think they're Billy Badass or something. But in reality, they're weak. They're wounded children. And then it all goes back to our childhood, bro. That's why it's so important that we heal. Because it all goes back to some point. At some point, somebody said something or somebody did it to us, and we decided that, oh my God, I'm going to just never forgive and I'm going to do the same thing that it was done to me. So I'm going to do it to you because it was done to me. No, that's why the world continues to stay sick. And then people jump on the wagon of like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and slander this person's name with you. We don't like her, we don't like her, we don't like him, we don't like him. But like, what are we in kindergarten? So, as for me, in my home, we don't engage. We don't like that. We just don't. We like other stuff. We like peace and shit. Like peace and harmony and love and joy. Yeah. That's what we like over here. So that was a little brief about smear campaigns and false narratives and how sometimes it's deeper than just somebody being that way. There's a reason why they're that way. Maybe their grandma, great grandma from way back when was like that too. And then they just carried it on generation through generation through generation to the point that even the little girl who's a fucking toddler, man, is out here slandering other people's name. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, when is it that we're gonna be like enough? Okay.